Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, creator of the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to officially welcome each and every last one of you all to our profit call. All right, we're going to have some market analysis this morning. This is our profit call. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as you log onto the line on this Trust Your Trade Thursday, as you log in this morning, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. Along with those affirmations, you want to drop it in the chat where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations as we prepare to get this call started here this morning. All right, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat where you're calling in from. And also, while we're doing this, go ahead, if you're streaming, you're on Facebook, right? A YouTube, wherever you are this morning, you want to make sure that you share. We're talking about 2 million strong. 2 million. Be Your Own Bank is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. And so we want to make sure that we're already global. We're already global, but we want to make sure that your friends, neighbors, relatives, everyone that's in your sphere of influence knows that they have the power in their own hands to be their own bank. So you want to make sure you share. So, all right, let's see, who do we have on the line this morning? Good morning, Columbus. Good morning, Toledo. Good morning. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Minnesota. Good morning, Manchester, UK. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning, Cleveland. Trust your trade. Have a great Trust Your Trade Thursday. Trust my trade Thursday from Cleveland. I love it. Good morning, Stone Mountain. Good morning, Essex, UK. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning. Look, why is it blurry? Nepal. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning, Chattanooga. Good morning. So, guys, drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from, right? You want to drop it in the chat. And of course, we want to make sure we're walking in the affirmations mindset, right? I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in and profit, I am 777. All right, that means the market is your ATM. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning. All right. So now let's go ahead and get started. You guys, this Thursday, by the end of the week, there we go. Good morning, Milwaukee. By the end of the week, we know we need to be doing our affirmations. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that. You're going to get your mind right. We're going to get our minds right this morning. All right. So as I go ahead and get my screen shared together, if this is your first time here with us this morning, let me get a 111. If you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222, right? And if you cashed out, let me get a 333. Let me see. Got to pull this chat back up. Here we go. All right. Good morning, Fort Mill, South Carolina. Good morning. So good morning. All right. So I have some. Did I say 333 or 777? Y'all look, get my mind right too. So 33 is 77777. I see you guys. I know it's a 333s, man. You get on a roll. 111, 222, 333, right? So, but if you're cashed out, let's stay consistent, like that blue line on the psychological levels. Let's get a 777 in the chat. All right. So let me say welcome, and welcome back. Welcome and welcome back. So for each and every last one of you all that are new to the call, each and every last one of you all that are joining us here for the first time, you said we're coachable. Me too, right? I got to remain coachable myself. So I love it. So I love it though. I love it. You're like, I'm not questioning. We just going to execute. We're going to operate. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. I love it. So now what we want to do, how this call works, right, is Monday through Thursday. Today is Trust Your Trade Thursday at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're actually live in the market and we're analyzing, okay? We're going through an analyzation. We're analyzing, diving in helping you understand how to implement what we've been educated upon, okay? And then on Tuesday nights is where a foundation is laid, right? Tuesday nights is where the basics come in, that strong foundation is laid. And then on Thursdays, okay, Thursdays, tonight is our advanced training. So this is where we go in, analyze tools, answer your questions, right? Going through all of that, making sure you understand how to utilize the tools that you have access to. And I'm gonna tell you, okay, those of you all, how many light bulb moments did we have yesterday? Oh my gosh. You know, that's what excites me. You know, that's what I love, is those of you all who are tuned in, plugged in, all right, you guys literally have been walking. Like I get the screenshots, I get the testimonies, I see, you know what, the compounding. So let me do this. If you have begun compounding, which means that you have some consistency in your trade account, some consistency in your trade account, and you have begun compounding, you know, let me get a 333. Even if you're looking at it, right, trying to figure out what your sweet spot is, right? Even if you have the spreadsheet downloaded, even if you've only taken 3 trades, right? Have you begun compounding? Have you begun doing that? 6 figures in 6 months is real, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now. Look at these 333s coming through. I love it. I love it. I love it. Right. And I love it. And then what I'm really excited, because what I'm seeing is my educators as well, which, you know, means like, I love it because what it shows is that it works. It shows that, you know, this is duplicatable. It shows that it's not just for me as the trade whisperer. It shows that anybody that applies themselves, plug in and apply. You plug in, you show up for yourself, that is going to work, right? Is going to work. And so the 333s, I salute you, right? 222s, you are on your way. So now you guys know that's what that's going to mean. 111, you're new to this call. 222, right? 111, 222 means you're still learning. 333 means we've begun compounding, and 777, we're cashing out. So now we know the system, right? On the money. There we go, on the money. So now, you know, I challenged you all last week, which we'll get deeper tonight. You know, we're not going to talk about tonight's training. Welcome. We're not going to talk about tonight's training, but I want to know, did you push, for those of you last week that are here today, did you push the button this week? Did you push the button this week? Let me get a yes or a no. This is simple, yes or no. Did you push the button this week? Look at there, look at there, look at there, look at there. So those of you all who had never, and a matter of fact, I'm looking at some of these names. Let me tell you, not only did you push the button one time, you pushed the button several times, because I see you. I see the chat. So congratulations. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels really, really good to cash out. It feels really, really good to get past that objection, that internal objection that you have within yourself, and walking in that hesitation. It feels really good. So now next week is gonna get even better. You're really gonna be able to dive in, and you're really gonna be able to dive in and be able to just really begin to master that. So now let's take a look at what's going on in the market. Market's been a little slow. I see some of you guys cashing out. Market's been a little slow. But what we want to do first and foremost is we're going to go over, see what's actually happening in the market, okay? Looking to see what news we have. Now, this is unemployment claims. We have some red folders coming up at 8:30. That could possibly be why the market is a little slow, okay? That's what we have. And so you see that 7:45, red folder, 8:30, red folder, which the market slows down. So you need to get in here, click the button, and it says why traders care. Why do you care, right? So we talked this morning, they're talking about monetary policy, right? So, and it provides clues regarding future monetary policy. We just really care about, is the market going to move or is it not? Is it going to buy or is it going to sell? Is your currency weak or is it strong? Right? So I don't have to become an economist by clicking the red folders. I don't want you to become an economist. That's why we have a Dr. Bythewood, okay? That's why we have a Talk with the Finance Doctor. Stick around after the training tonight, because the Talk with the Finance Doctor is on Tuesday and Thursdays at 10 p.m., okay? With lots of golden nuggets being given. I mean, just the nugget. I got so much feedback from the nuggets given on Tuesday night. I'm telling you, you want to stick around. That let him do what he does, and we come here and do what we do, right? We trade. So I don't need to become an economist. I want you comfortable the same way we had to get into charts. I want you comfortable pushing this button. Why do I care? Is it going to strengthen or weaken the currency? What's going to happen? So as we notice that the market is not moving a lot right now, then when I come here, all right, when I look here, we're looking at both of them now. As you know, we've been looking at the other one more lately, right? This is why we check more than one news source. Do not forget, time changes this weekend. Let me be clear, all right? Not for the United States, for the United Kingdom. So there is an adjustment that is being made. And then the following week, our time changes, okay? So we have to make that adjustment. And I'm making an assumption, because that's what this is, an assumption that this is going to balance out by the time that happens, okay? So I'm making that assumption. That's really all it is an assumption. So now I'm going to jump over here. And I want a 555 if you guys watch this video, because I want to show you something, okay? Right? This is another my FX book. This is where you connect your trade account, right? You got to track it. You check your trade account here. That's not what we're doing this morning. I want to come over here, right? They have an economic calendar as well. So this is just another news source. If you want, they do pop-ups and some other stuff. So I don't really, pull this one up, but it's just another news source. But when we talk about volatility and liquidity in the market, let's do this since the market's a little slow, and then we'll get into the training or the analyzation. When we talk about volatility and liquidity in the market, let me come here first. Let me come to the liquidity. We talk about we want to be in a market that has a lot of liquidity, right? So how do I know when it's a good time to trade? Y'all always ask me that question. But I've asked all of you all, right? Let's look at the playlist, Trading the BYOB Cash Out. How many have gone and watched the video that says liquidity and volatility in the market? 555 in the chat. How many of you guys? It's crickets. Okay, I'm like, who? All right, so some of you guys have actually gone and watched that. This is why that's important. This is going to help you. When I look here, okay, current liquidity in the market is 48%. Average liquidity in the market for this time, right now, at 5:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, average liquidity in the market is 103%, all right? So if I know that my liquidity in the market is not there, I'm not forcing a trade. This is like at half, or not even half. It's not even half of what it normally is. So right? So we got, what did we just discuss? We have news folders on Euro and USD coming up. So that if impacts the liquidity that's in the market, we want liquidity. Let's look at this, okay? There's a whole training on this. So we're not going to train on this morning. So I'm just pulling it up though. When you look at it, it's telling you, where is it at? So it talks about the liquidity for each minute for the last 48 hours. Let me see. But let me just do it, because I was trying to pull something out that I wanted to highlight. The liquidity section provides rough estimates of the trading activity in the Forex market. So, all right, here we go. Higher liquidity right here usually means better spreads as more transactions are available. So you see that we want higher liquidity. So if the liquidity is low, right? If the liquidity is low, then there's not much happening in the market, right? That's what we're looking at. So this talks about, it's a rough estimate. So you see that rough estimate. So rough estimate does not mean that there is not a trade there, but a rough estimate means that, it's basically a rough estimate, like that is based on the fact it's a rough estimate on a trading activity. So it's taking into account what's there. Does this make sense? When I say, oh, you see how it fluctuates and changes, right? You see how it just went from 48 to 62. So we were less than half. So some liquidity is picking up in the market. But you see, you want to go watch that training. It's in the playlist, Trading the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. So it's going to help you understand the market. Look at how it's beginning to rise a little bit. So it fluctuates, but it's going to help you. And then when we talk about volatility, you want to talk about currency pairs as you pull them. Like, what do I tell you all the time about GBP, right? Everything is a little low right now. But what do I tell you about GBP, right? So when you're looking at the fluctuation and what's in there, you can see that if I'm looking right here, for right now, like when we're looking at the volatility that's in the market right now, this GBP, JPY, and USD still have more volatility, which means it fluctuates a little bit more. Obviously, this is an exotic when you look at how much is in there, and that's gold. We already know what gold is. So when you look at this, right? When you look at this, it helps you understand why is it important. It tells you how much the currency has moved and within a time frame. So it's telling you like how many pips, how much movement, how much is actually moved within that time frame. So this is what now a lot of them are a little low right now, but look at CHF. You get, because y'all know how I personally feel about CHF. So CHF is going to consistently be low. But you see there are some of them that are lower right now when you're looking at the volatility in the market. Does this make sense? This makes sense? Yes, no, maybe so. So I'm challenging you guys to go back. I'm not going to do a training on it because we're going to get into the market, but I'm challenging you guys to go back and actually, go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. Because, I want you guys to be those BYOB master traders, right? That's what we want. Okay. That's what we want. We want you walking in that. So an educated trader is a profitable trader. So I did them. I did those. I did these Forex Factory and FX Street. We did those. We did both of those before we went over there. We looked at both of them. All right, so now let's talk about the BYOB cash out strategy. And then let's see what's going on in this market this morning. Look, see, now when you start seeing this, doesn't it make sense right now? It makes sense when we just looked at the volatility in the market, right? The liquidity in the market, right? When we just looked at both of those. So now it makes sense. And so remember, the market feeds that, not vice versa. I want you to have a relationship with the market. And so when I'm looking here, look at these last two 15-minute candles. Look at how much momentum are in those candles. I mean, look at this. So when I talk about the liquidity in the market, the volatility in the market, you can kind of see that there is none. So let's talk about the BYOB cash out strategy. All right, let's talk about that, and then we'll kind of see if anything. See, look, that's not moving. Bitcoin is kind of moving. Bitcoin should close back out in here this morning. Do we have a? I'm gonna walk you through the strategy. I just want you guys to know Bitcoin trigger. So if you don't want to wait on the analyzation that I do, then you guys can go look at it. But I'm gonna come back over there in just a moment. All right. So now let's take a look at this. Okay. Let's dive in. So what I'm looking for now, this is that morning you ask questions. I mean, look at the market. We're gonna get to Bitcoin in a minute, but this is the market you ask questions in. Okay. So we get your questions answered. So now what it is what we're looking for with the BYOB cash out strategy is 3 indicators, okay? 3 simple indicators, 3 indicators. Now, what we see is understanding how this works. So my higher time frame, right? My higher time frame gives me direction. My mid time frame gives me analyzation. My lower time frame is how I enter. Let me put that box on here. I had to reset this morning. Now, and I wanted to do that before I mark it up. All right, so y'all don't need everything. I always have everything highlighted, so don't mind me. Because I'm always flipping through the charts. So now, when we look here, I'm looking for my leading indicator. So knowing that we have, right, what each one of these mean, okay? Knowing what all of these mean, what I'm ultimately looking for, okay, what I'm ultimately seeing is I'm looking for my stochastic as a leading indicator. So this is the foundation. This is where we begin, all right? This is that foundation. This is where we ultimately begin. And if this is that foundation and where we begin on a 15-minute chart because it's analyzation. This is a market strategy, okay? BYOB cash out is a market strategy, okay? I want to be very clear about that. So it helps you analyze the market, okay? Now, as I'm looking here, all right, I want to begin with my leading indicator. We're on the 15-minute chart. Guys, there is absolutely no such thing as trading on a time frame. That's why I wanted to kind of open this up for you, because the price does not adjust based on the time frame that we're on. So I'm not trading, quote unquote, on a time frame. I'm on the 15-minute time frame for a reason, if that makes sense. So it's not that I'm trading a time frame. I'm here for a reason. I'm here because this is where my analyzation lives, where my analyzation lies. All right. So now when I'm here, you see that stochastic around the 20. All right. We're around that 20. Now, I want to look here at that 20, and I'm trying to move it over because you see this pops up down here. So I want, as I'm analyzing, I want to make sure that you guys, I want to make sure that you guys see it. So this, I'm looking for this blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum. So here we are around the 20. All right, blue line cross over the red, right? Blue line cross over the red around that 20 and an upward momentum. And now the market can be around the 20 down to the 0. It could be at the 32, the 22, but that crossover and cross up, or over here, that crossover and cross down is very important, because if we're here, right? If we're here and the market is still in an upward momentum, or if I'm hearing it's in a downward momentum, why would I even consider a trade? Like, why would I even consider it? I don't want to consider it because I don't want to set myself up. So I need that crossover and that cross up. So now what I'm doing is I'm coming up here. Let's zoom in because I want you to see these candles. I want you to see them. All right. My stochastic is moving up. Now, remember, this is historical. All right. I cannot do current right now because current looks like this. We're not touching that. If on the higher time frame, you can see it. But if I see this down here like this on there's nothing there. In 15 minutes, it did not move at all. In 15 minutes, it did not move at all. So I'm not touching that. I'm not, and I don't need you to either. That's why I pulled that information up this morning. All right. So we have a green candle with a flat bottom and a PSAR flip to the bottom, okay? So remember, blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum. I have a green candle with a flat bottom, and now I have my PSAR that just flipped, all right? So now this is what we call alignment on my time frame, okay? This is alignment. I want you to get in your mind alignment. Everything needs to always be in alignment, okay? Think about your car. If it's not in alignment, is it a smooth ride? Okay, it can be very dangerous if you need an alignment, right? I saw an accident yesterday morning. They was not in alignment with the road. They merged over into the wrong lane. So, and came into oncoming traffic. That is what you're going to do if you're not in alignment. You're going to merge over into the wrong way because you're not in alignment. You're going to get into some oncoming traffic, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to check my time frame confluence, okay? Now, time frame confluence, remember, my higher time frame gives me direction. My mid time frame is where I analyze. My lower time frame is how I enter. So what this does is put me in alignment, right, with my higher time frame, making sure that I'm in alignment. So as I jump up, okay, as I jump up and we began to look at it, now, once again, this is important, okay? This is important. Because I want you to see I'm not in alignment. I have a red candle. See this arrow? What does this arrow tell me I'm looking for? Somebody help me out. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Pop quiz Thursday. Pop quiz Thursday. They don't even call it tests anymore in school. They call it mastery checks. So mastery check Thursday. So right, I'm looking for green. What else am I looking for? I'm looking for a green candle. What else am I looking for? What should my stochastic be doing? Mastery check. My stochastic, right, and everything is selling, right? It's been a little flat line. And then, now remember, I need to keep my eyes focused right here, right? Because this hasn't happened yet. So this has been in a sale. My stochastic been in a sale. So I needed to be pushing up. I needed to be moving up. Okay. That's what I needed to be doing. So let me ask you guys another question. Based on what I'm seeing right now, can I drop down to my 30? Right? Because we do know that GBP gives us an exception to the rule. Can we drop down? All right. Mastery check on Thursday. Can we drop down? I'm like, I got one person going to answer me, and I got going for two. All right, awesome. That is correct. We cannot drop down, okay? We cannot drop down. I got a bold no. We cannot drop down because it is not, right? It has to give me some indication that I can. So now what we have to do is we just have to wait, right? We have to wait. And good thing the wait was only 15 minutes. Okay, because we were at the 45 mark. So if I move in and I look at that second candle, when I come to my confluence, now do I have confluence? Now do I have confluence on my higher time frame? Do I have confluence? All right, mastery check, mastery check, mastery check. So, yep, absolutely. So now I want to drop down. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, don't you? I'm telling my daughter, I said, you got a test on Friday. She's like, Mom, we don't take tests. And I'm like, what? You know, so, and I see it on the thing when I log onto her thing. Nope, it's a mastery check. So I don't know if it's to remove anxiety. I don't know what it is, but that's what it's called. It's called a mastery check. So every week she has mastery checks. So, we are, all right. Hot mic. So now this is where we pretty much, right? When we drop down, now my 5 minute is still buying, okay? My 5 minute is still buying. My 5 minute is still buying. So knowing that my 5 minute is still buying, then I have a good entry for a trade, okay? So that's the BYOB cash out strategy with time frame confluence. Now, phase 3, step 3 is when we squinch up the charts, okay? So you guys could have done your 10 pips and cash out or your first support and resistance line. Now, when we squinch up the charts, right? Squinch up the charts, we're going to be looking for, let's see, right? You're looking for, you're zoning off. You want to know where you are in the market, okay? We need to know. So we know that we've been at a nice support and resistance line. And that could be why we're having some hesitation and moving forward, because you can definitely see, and then you want to begin to identify like where are my psychological levels and things like that. All right, guys, any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any questions, comments, or testimonies dropping in the chat? Any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any. See how we're starting to get a little bit of momentum here? But we almost had another candle and it's still not going anywhere. You see my blue line crossing over the red, right? But it's starting to curve up. I mean, this thing, it's nothing, 2.5. It went up to 7, pulled back. So just trying to help you understand what's happening today. And that's how the market looks. Look at what this, the last few hours on here, okay? This is where we've been. So these are, look at this one, right? The same markups that we've had, right? The same markups that we have. Now, if you're not giving me something, this GBP, I'm looking at GBP AUD. Did you have a specific question about it? I'm not about to trade it. I'm definitely not about to trade it. Do you have a specific question about it? There's not. One thing we don't do is the market telling, what is the market telling you right now? What's the market saying to you at this current moment? Because what did we sing yesterday? What was our go-to song yesterday? And then today is a perfect example of that. What was our go-to song yesterday? If I move, you move, right? That now we're doing the edited version, okay? We're definitely doing the edited version, and we're only doing that part of the song. So that's it. I don't need you guys singing the whole song. But when the market moves, we move. So what does this tell you? This is the market has nothing in it, right? Don't go try to force it. Do not try to force it. So do not try to force the market. So I understand, but when you look at these, I'm on an hour candle right now. When it starts moving, fantastic. Have a great trading day, right? Trust your trade and go trust your trade and go have a great trading day. But when this is what the market's doing, you see this? This the last few hours, okay? When this is what the market's doing, NASDAQ moved a little bit, but it just kind of recovered what it did. So look at what S&P is doing. When this is what the market's doing, this is not where you want to be, okay? So you want to learn, you want to educate, you can come through and analyze. Like when I'm looking at gold right here, and look at all of this. So gold on the hour just triggered for a buy, okay? So look at my 1 hour, which should be in a correction to my 4 hour, and now you see, but it's being held right here. So you see how this moved up, and you can kind of see how we're being held at that psychological level. That's where we are right now. So one is in a sell, one is in a buy. So it triggered in a correction, but is it going to keep going up, right? But we know what it's not doing. It's not doing it at this moment. That's what we do know. So do I really want to get caught up in a sale on gold? Right? So you see that 5 minute, we're oversold. Look at my 30 minute, right? You can see where this is, right? You can see how this looks. Come here to my hour. All of that looks pretty. And then my 4 hours in a buy. So we know now, unless this thing, it might be getting a nice rejection, we might be closing this area back out right here. Because if I look at my 4 hour, I'm approaching the top, I'm getting right here, right? But yet this triggered for a buy 30 minutes ago. So we see why it triggered for a buy. So I'm gonna wait, let the market settle, and then make the decision as far as what I would do, because we should get some more triggers coming up. I'm just not forcing anything, right? And then we come over here to Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we saw a trigger, all right? Bitcoin, we saw a trigger for a buy, and that buy trigger was on the 5 minute. So where is it always called? In a correction, right? So we know that this has moved up, and now this is actually in that correction because that's what that trigger is. So 5 minute chart, trigger for a buy. Okay, my call price is at 605.78, 605.78. So it's up in here, right up in here where we currently are, right up in this area. And that's what we trigger. My trigger price is not an entry price. Okay, it's not an entry price. It's a trigger price. Okay, it's a trigger price. It's called at that price because that's when the correction was identified. All right, that's when the correction was identified. So if I put it on here, we could just put it on here. We have time this morning. We have plenty of time this morning. Let's see here. 6578.29. All right, this is where that trigger happened. Go to my 30 minute. You can see it's in that buy. And that correction, what you're looking at, that correction is this little part right here. This little part right here. All right. So when I drop down, right, you see, right, you see it? So that's the corrections and things. So you see how that wick is this, you see, can you guys see that? These are Hikinashi candles. So my Hikinashi candles, that wick is this activity right there. Y'all see that? Now, what I want to do now is, as I'm looking at this, okay, as we're looking at Bitcoin, as it triggered, that's a valid trigger. Now we do know that we're overbought. Let's go look at my higher time frame, okay? So we know that we're approaching that 80 area, right? We do know we're approaching that. And if I come to my 4 hour, this is just beautiful. So this one is a really good trigger. And right, that's a really, really good trigger. And we have the possibility to close this back out. Any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any. So we normally look at the crossover on the stochastic at the 80 or the 20. If it happens, if it's in the 40 or the 60, how would you interpret that crossover? So as your skill set develops, let's go back over here. See, look at how this rejected. As your skill set develops, right? As your skill set develops. So understand that all the time frames work together, okay? So if you have not began to understand just yet how the 15 correlates with the hour, the 4 hour, things like that, then you hang out at the 80 and the 20, right? Because what you have to begin to see is how these time frames work together. So like if I'm right here, right, on my, oh, that's raggedy. Let me see. If I'm right here, let me bring this down. Let me do it this way. Let me look at this 4 hour. This is not smooth at all. All right, but just for the sake of training or the sake of the question, like when I'm here on my higher time frame, look at how my stochastic started around the 80 and it pulled down. When I go to the hour, it's going to end before that, okay? Which you can see it ended before that. You see how it pulled back up? This is your question right here. So my overall, my head of the household is saying, my head of the household said, look, we going to the mall, we going to the store, we going to a vacation, we going somewhere, but we're headed that way, okay? My head of the household said, look, this is where we're going, we're selling, period. That's it. There's nothing else to talk about, right? That's what my head of household said. Then I come here and the mom or what have you, look what happened. So it's pulling down. Now, every now and then she'd be like, well, why we got to go on? Why we have to drive? Why couldn't we fly? Well, why this? Why that? Well, we need to stop in the bathroom. Well, right? Remember he said we're going on vacation. She's like, well, we need to stop in the bathroom. Well, we need to do this. But at the end of the day, she's still rolling with them, right? You see that? So she got down here, pulled up into a correction. You know, basically the correction happened and then it kept going. So this is that, well, we need to stop to eat. Well, I want to stop and go shopping. I want to stop and go this. Can we stop at that outlet mall? Can we? So, but overall, the alignment came back to place. Now, as you come down, right, when you start looking, look at how many ups and downs are within this. So that's what I mean about beginning to understand how the market flows together within the timeframes. Because I know that if overall, right, my top-down analysis, I know that if I'm selling right here, I know that if this is moving down, I know that if this is what's happening, then what you're seeing right here, like when it comes here, I know I'm coming out of a correction. It just wasn't a hard correction. So I know that I'm still selling, you know, so this, but if you haven't got that far in your skill set, then you stick right here. Blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum around the 80, right? Red candle flat top, PSR flip to the top. All right, it's going to be plenty trading opportunities, even from there, okay? But in order to even consider taking a trade from like right here, or right here, or right here, for it to even make sense, right? On any level, I have to understand my higher time frame, and I have to understand a lot more about the market, all right? Does that answer your question? Yes, no, maybe so. Got it. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome. Thank you for the question and the very clear answer, read time frames. You're very welcome. You guys are welcome. All right. So any other questions? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Any other questions? That explanation was most helpful. Any other questions? All right. So today is the day to ask the questions because I'm telling you, that's oil from yesterday. Oh, look at our Ethereum. It came back up and it hit this. And look, is it a retest or is it gonna actually look like it's gonna come back up? Look like it's gonna come back up before it sells. That's what it looks like. But I would pay attention to where it came up to right up in here. So just understand, right? With something like this is why I was real careful, right? Remember we saw this yesterday trigger for a sale on a daily, right? And I told you guys it was going to come back up and retest. Understand that cryptocurrency, indices, all of that has a significant amount of fundamental impact, right? That can happen. So even though I might mark this up, if this was a GBP USD, a Euro USD, you know, something, then I'll be like, look, I'm telling you what it's going to do. Okay. But because it has so much fundamental impact, you want to pay attention to what's going on because it can break those rules, right? It could break those rules. Like you see how it broke through here. Now, is it just disrespecting the line or is this actually going to move up? Because I'm definitely overbought. Look at my stochastic, but this is a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. That crossover and cross down is not happening. It's got to cross over and cross up. So it still has too much momentum. It tried to correct. It tried to respect the trend line. It tried to, but it's too much fundamentals that's pulling this up right now, right? That's what's happening. And come right here and look at my 4 hour right there. So yeah, now it looks like it's going to retest and then pull up. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Okay, that's what it looks like, unless it rejects and just being disrespectful. So you just got to pay attention to see, right? You just have to pay attention to see and you'll understand when to take that trade. But right now, I wouldn't take anything. It'll be a lot clearer when it comes to any questions. I mean, the market's not moving. So now is the time. Let's get some questions answered. Or I'll close the call. But now is the time to get those questions answered. Right? Now's that time. Go back and watch a training this weekend. See? Let's see where we normally are. So if the market's not moving, we're not moving. I mean, we got red folders coming up starting at 7:45, 8:30, and the unemployment claims. So any other questions, comments, or testimonies? Just pay attention to your Bitcoin. That's the only thing I can legitimately tell you to watch at this current moment. GBP AUD triggered. It's really not gonna matter right now. So you can see it triggered on the 5-minute. It's always triggered in a correction. Come up here to my 30-minute. That's a valid trigger. See, the triggers still work. It's valid, but it's not going to stay there because what state are we in right here? Consolidation. So it's a valid trigger. It's a very valid trigger. Very valid trigger. Correction, very valid. But we consolidated. So we're probably pulling up, just to be honest with you, but I'm not doing it right now. Not doing it right now. All right. I'm going to ask one more time before I say, you know what? I'm going to ask one more time. Questions, comments, and testimonies. All right. Well, no questions, no comments, guys. Let me go ahead and share something with you really quickly. All right. So I want to make sure that you all get registered. I'm telling you, Be Your Own Bank is coming to a city near you. This is the tour. And what I love is what we're looking for is for you to say, you know what? I want to be the representative of my city. I want to be the one that is going to have that worldwide impact for my location. And as you can see right now, you see we had Milwaukee last month, the month before. So the consistency is there with Milwaukee. And so Milwaukee, Be Your Own Bank movement, when you look, I need you guys to get registered. You can find everywhere that we're going to be at byobmovement.eventbrite.com. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and get registered. And you want to make sure that you get registered before that day, before it rolls around. So as you can see, you have our pit master. You hear her on Tuesday nights, right? You hear from her on Tuesday nights. Phenomenal educator, phenomenal individual, just has a heartbeat for helping people change their lives. And because of that, she has some wonderful people that are there with her consistently assisting in that Milwaukee area. So you see Dr. Kenner, you see Ms. Scott, you see Pastor Hibbler. These individuals have a heartbeat for success. So you want to make sure if you're in that area, driving distance means get in your car. If you can get there in one day, then you need to be there. And you want to make sure you put somebody in the car with you, right? We are changing the world, 2 million strong, okay? 2 million strong. And then this month, myself and a visionary will be alongside. with Miss Turner and Mr. Richard. You see, we got a Trade Queen and a Night Owl. We'll be alongside with them in Sumner, Mississippi. So Memphis, Tennessee, all of those surrounding areas, you know, all of those areas right there. You want to make sure that you show up. You want to make sure you get in your car. You want to make sure you go get registered, okay? Get registered, get registered, get registered. And so you want to make sure that you bring somebody with you. You want to make sure that you put somebody in the car. Okay, you want to make sure, because we're so serious about 2 million strong. And you're going to hear about this. This is what we do. COVID shut us down, but we are back. We are back. We are back. COVID shut the world down, but we are back. We are back. We are back at changing the world. We've been on Zoom this entire time, but we're coming to a city near you. When is BYOB coming to England? We should be coming over there. I know we're coming to the UK probably at the top of the year sometime. You know, that first half of the year we'll be over there. So it's coming. It's coming. We got a phenomenal individual over there in the United Kingdom that has planted the flag, right? She has planted the flag, Miss Graham, over there. I'm telling you right now. So the momentum is strong, you know, so you guys make sure that you stay connected with her. And I'm telling you, lives are definitely being changed over there in the United Kingdom. So most definitely. So stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. All right. But we're definitely coming. All right. So yeah, Miss Graham is awesome. She is phenomenal. So, all right. Now, when we look, let me see. I thought I saw some movement. Look at Bitcoin. What I tell you, we were waiting on this. This is what we were waiting on Bitcoin. So let's see here. You're waiting on that flip. Let's see. I don't want to get caught. You see, I will wait till this pull back around a little bit, and then I would take that. All right, guys, any questions, comments, or testimonies? You see how I dropped down for tighter entry. That's all this is, okay? We got a PSR flip. We're good. When I do my time frame confluence, I like that. We're just looking for that tighter entry. So we should be, if you didn't get it, we should have that tighter entry coming soon. All right. When I do this on the indices and the crypto, it's because I'm really trying to keep you guys. Have you guys felt that pullback on those? Have you felt that pullback on the crypto? Have you felt that pullback on your indices? This is why we drop down. I don't even like the pullback, right? I don't like the pullback. So even still teaching, coaching, mentoring, helping you guys trade, I still don't like pullback. I understand it. That doesn't mean I have to like it. So you want to minimize your pullback. And that's ultimately what this does when you drop down. So once again, I'm not trading off of the 1 minute. I'm using this for a tighter entry. See, here we go. Y'all see that? All right. So I'll be looking for my 777s. All right. Any questions, comments, or testimonies as we close out? Because it is that time now. I didn't think we was going to make it to this time. Because y'all was like real quiet. I'm like, y'all do know that it's Thursday, right? It's today, the last day of the week that we're going to hang out together. So, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, what's going to happen right now is we're going to go ahead and close out. I'll see you back on here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just make sure you come back ready for 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. All right, guys. You know what? Before we go, let me see something. I want to see that we get that trigger. Y'all know I like to make sure you guys know how to come in here and use these tools. We already know we had a trigger on. You're welcome. So nothing has triggered recently, but we do know that we had a trigger on the vibrata. So, all right. So that's it. All right. I'm leaving now for real. All right. Bye-bye. I love you guys. I'll see you at 9.